Alright, good morning everyone. Glad to see all of your faces at school again. We have a lot of information to cover in class today.
Good morning, Mr. Tord.
So, what are we learning today?
Yeah, it better not be something boring.
Oh, can we learn about the Russians?
Okay.
Settle down.
We can save the Russian discussion for a different class. Today we are talking about apartheid in South Africa.
Didn't we already cover that last class?
Yeah, we read a whole book about it. How much more do we need to know?
A lot, actually. Today I prepared for us to talk about pass laws.
What are pass laws?
They're not like the passes we use to go to the bathroom, right? Because that system is way too complicated.
Wait, I think I know what they are. Weren't passes things all the blacks had to carry around wherever they went?
Oh, I think you're right. I remember something about how passes were really strict, so blacks were easily punished for not having their passes in order.
Wow, you guys actually know more about pass laws than I thought you would. Maybe I don't need to teach about it after all.
Wait, really? Can we just have a study hall then?
No, I was kidding. You're never getting a study hall in this class, and there's still so much you need to know about pass laws.
Come on.
Uh-huh. Don't worry, it shouldn't take that long. I'll do my best to keep it interesting. So does anyone know about the origin of pass laws? Okay, let's travel back in time. In the 18th to 19th century, the Dutch and the British established their own regulations for the slave economy that took place.
Where did they establish the slave economy?
Cape Colony, also known as the Cape of Good Hope on the bottom of South Africa.
So how did the pass laws come from that?
With these regulations that paved the way with colonial conquest, economic impoverishment, and exclusion of citizenship of Africans, regional pass laws emerged in the 19th century for the purpose of ensuring a reliable, cheap African labor force for gold and diamond mines.
How are the pass laws able to do that? Can't they just get a different job?
Well, no. The Afrikaners, who were the white South Africans who colonized areas of South Africa, had economic and political control over a lot of South Africa. The pass laws required for blacks' passbooks to have so much personal and employment information to allow them to travel that it resulted in an increased segregation of blacks from whites.
Well, how much of the population did these laws actually affect?
At first, the laws only affected the adults in regional areas because they needed the ability to travel to different areas outside of their homelands to work. But in 1952, the Natives' Abolition of Passes and Coordination of Documents Act replaced the regional laws, which resulted in a stricter system of regulating black movement and increased black labor allocation.
Wait, did kids have to carry passbooks too? Did they work? Speaking of work, I need a job.
I was about to get to that. With the new law, all black males over 16 had to carry a reference/passbook whenever they were traveling to white areas and to fulfill occupational needs. Since there were already few jobs, it would be very hard for them to find a good job without an education. At times, they would have to beg for money.
Please give me money. Wow, I can't believe that blacks had to endure that level of restriction in their own country.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Those Dutch and British people really had the audacity.
Wait, what would happen if they were caught without their passport?
A lot of consequences, but they were not uncommon. More often than not, police raids would occur in townships like Alexandra at any random moment of the day, and men and women would get their passbooks checked.
Even in the middle of the night?
Yup. The policemen of each region could barge into your house and demand to see your passbook, and if they were not in order by having all of the personal information and occupational information required, then you could be arrested on the spot.
This is what you did.
You were under arrest.
No. That sounds awful. I hate not getting enough sleep.
Is that really what you think is the worst part of this whole situation?
No. But wait, what would happen afterwards if they got arrested?
Well, there was a man who had just been laid off from his job, and he was about to board a bus to look for another job. As he was waiting, the police came and asked to check his passbook. Upon realizing that he was unemployed, which was a violation of the regulations, they immediately arrested him and took him to a work camp to serve out his sentence.
What happened to his family?
They must have been so worried.
Since this could happen on any time, there's always a chance that families could have their loved ones suddenly disappear for weeks without any notice. For this man, however, his family got news of his arrest, but they did not get to know his sentence. So until he returned, they suffered from the lack of income he provided and went through a period of starvation, desperation, and fear of the unknown future.
Oh gosh, I can't even begin to imagine how they felt.
Now I want to go home and hug my parents.
And even worse, the process of getting a pass was miserable and degrading for all colored men, women, and male teens who needed one. Based off a true story, an 18-year-old boy was told by the pass office that he needed to get a job to get a pass. But the catch was that he couldn't get a job without a pass.
That doesn't even make sense.
That's awful.
He was fortunate enough to get a job from his white friend's father company. But even with all the requirements met, going through the examination was even more humiliating. After they asked about all the details of his personal life and stripped him for the physical examination, he left without any dignity left.
Oh my gosh, so how many people were affected by the system over the years?
Can I guess? 5 million?
No, there was definitely more. 10 million.
Actually, by the time the ineffective pass laws were repealed in 1986, they had already led over 17 million arrests of black South Africans.
Wow.
God.
That's so many.
I can't believe people let that happen and didn't fight back against the injustice.
Well, actually, people were so angry about the pass laws that it fueled the anti-apartheid struggle. These protests include the Defiance Campaign, the massive women's protests in Pretoria, and the burning of passes at Sharpeville Police Station, where 69 protesters were massacred.
Okay, with the amount of opposition the white colonizers faced, you would have thought that they would figure out that the pass laws were not a good idea.
What were the whites possibly thinking about the pass laws during all this time?
Well, the whites had very construed thoughts about race.
How?
Well, they thought that the white race was the most superior. The pass laws were their way of thinking and of being fair to the black and colored people.
But how did they think this was right?
They thought that they were being very kind to the people by allowing them into whites-only cities for work. They thought that to control overpopulation, they had to kick everyone out except the whites and relocate everyone into the rural areas to keep their culture alive. Blacks were only allowed to work for the whites in their areas to keep their sections thriving.
Wow, it's crazy how many people just accepted the system.
Yeah, that's for sure. Oh, wow, that's all the time we have for today, class. See you next class.